Peace. I'm your brother Crumb, and you are now watching Crumb TV.
Hey, you are now watching Crumb TV.
Crumb TV.
Hey, we in Chicago, y'all, and y'all watching Crumb TV.
It's your brother, Tim Buck 2, I say.
You are now watching Crumb TV.
You in Chi-Town finest, you hear me? Inglewood, always up to no good.
Man, I'm telling my brother Crumb.
You're watching Crumb TV.
I'm your humble brother, and you are watching Crumb TV.
Reporting live from the Wild Hunter Southside Chicago.
And you now watching Crumb TV.
And you're watching Crumb TV.
Crumb TV, baby. Hey.
Crumb TV.
If you could, please repeat after me. Peace, Ashe, Islam, Namaste, Hotep, Grand Rising, Assalamu alaikum, Walaikum salam, Bum dia, Oseo, Halito, Wagwan. What up, though? Rahubet. Que pasa? Konnichiwa. How are the children? Whatever the greeting is in your respective language, I am your humble brother Crumb, here for another installation of Crumb TV. You already know what it is, family. This video is called Flat Earth Decoded. That's right, family. Flat Earth Decoded. Now, I want to do things the right way, family. So just want to start things off by acknowledging the first responders. Now, we do have more than 76 first responders within the first 2 minutes, but for the sake of time, I'll just do the first three. We call that the perfect trifecta. So number one in the building is Planet C Note Hendrix. He says background music. Let me see. Is there any background music playing? Let me see. Let me just check. If it is, it's off now. Number two in the building of this perfect trifecta. Let's see who we got here. It's Kilo Kadar Ali L. This is going to be deep. My top two favorite networks in a debate on this subject. This isn't a debate, family. You know, over here on Crumb TV, we really just add value. We don't debate each other. But nonetheless, he says, I got my pen, pad, maps, and sacred geometry thinking cap on. Let's get it. Humbly speaking, flat earther, teach. Absolutely. We're going to be doing a lot of that. Number three in the building of this perfect trifecta, it's Cosmic Cutie. She's giving her flowers, family. Family, you got to give your flowers up for this one, family. It's we going all the way in. All the way, family. So with that said, I want to start things off the right way and try to do the housekeeping within the first 5 minutes. And I want to introduce my brother, just in case you don't know who he is. I'm sure everybody knows, but you know, because this is a guy who needs no introduction. But just to put some respect on his name, I want to let you guys know I do have brother Sanchez in the building. He's getting ready right now, so I'll allow him to do that. But I want to say within that first 5 minutes, if you are a master student, if you're new here, then, you know, whatever the case may be. But if you are a master student, if you could smash that like button on the way in, drop a comment, whether that be a 666 or 777 or whatever is on your heart, please and thank you. And also, family, if you could, here, let me actually switch my background real quick. Hit that subscribe button if you've not hit the button. Now is your time. So tap all the way in, family. Now I wanted to mention this as well, because we try to do the housekeeping, which means the first 5 minutes of things. So I want to remind you that we have an event coming up. That's right, family. We have a huge event in Florida. We're going to do a Juneteenth retreat. Me, MOY, and of course you. It's going to be, the tickets will be on crumbtv.info/events. That's right, family. crumbtv.info/events. You can get your tickets over there. You can spend the Friday night, we're going to have a pool party and a hot tub, the whole thing. Saturday, we're going to have a celebrity breakfast or luxury breakfast, high profile breakfast. Then we're going to go into the PowerPoint We'll have a high profile lunch, go back into the PowerPoint. We'll break bread for dinner. We'll do a movie night after that morning. You got to go. So, yeah, that's going to be super fire. Get your tickets at crumbtv.info/events. Okay, family, that's pretty much all I had for you. I just want to make sure that I touch those very important topics. But, the topic at hand and the man of the hour, well, the topic at hand is Flat Earth, and the man of the hour is my good brother, Sanchez. This is his first time up here. I'm so glad to have him. I'm so excited. But with that said, I'll bring the brother on. Peace, good brother. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I can't complain. How about yourself, my brother? I'm glad to be here, man.
All is well. All is truly well. Thank you for asking. Now, brother, before we get into the measure, just in case the family doesn't know, can you tell the family who you are and where we can find you at?
Well, again, like you said, I'm Bro Sanchez or just Sanchez. And my main channel is Bro Sanchez TV. But you can also go to brosanchez.com. Right now, I'm in the process of remodeling the website. But the channel Bro Sanchez TV is the main place you can find me for all updates to keep up and date with my debates, presentations, all of that good stuff. So, yeah, thanks for asking.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's an honor to have you on the platform. You're doing your thing. Big things on the internet. But with that said, I say we start wherever you see fit. The family knows, and just to preface this is not a debate. I don't do that to people. Had I said it was a debate, I would have said something to him prior. So I'm not going to do that whole internet thing where you guys try to sneak attack people. This is where we just come together and we add value and we learn. So, brother, I wanted to ask, where do you think is the best place for us to start? Because on this platform, I believe this is probably one of the very first Flat Earth videos we've had, but I'm sure the family knows about you. So where do you say we start? I should share a screen, or you just want to give a spiel? How do you feel?
Well, I'm definitely gonna want to share the screen because Flat Earth is dealing with the scientific method. One of the first steps to the scientific method is observation. Flat Earth is all about observation-based science, whereas globe Earth is about you saying, well, your senses can't prove everything. Your senses can fail you, so you need to rely on technology, which is just an extension of your senses. So I'm going to be going deeper into this in a minute. I'm going to use very simple proofs, very simple observations, what we call common sense, right? Because we're in an age of complicated mumbo jumbo and advanced equations. But if you look at where science has brought humanity, is to create hell on earth at this time. I mean, if you look at where technology and science is going. So on one hand, we've been told that these are the experts, but on the other hand, we see them creating a society outside that would be contrary to that. But that's neither here nor there. I think that the foundation of anything we do should be to question it with a sane mind and use the mind is a powerful thing, which is why it's a terrible thing to waste. We don't use our mind when we simply believe a theory. All things must be challenged. That means theories too, but we fail to challenge a theory when we think it's synonymous with a fact. So today we're going to show you the facts versus the theories.
Absolutely. I'm excited to see what you got for us. Now, I can share my screen if that's what you want to do, but you have the ability to share your screen as well. You want to try to do that real quick?
Yeah, I'm definitely familiar with StreamYard. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to set up a browser over here. And I'm about to, hold on 1 second here. We definitely going to get the screen shares going. And I think when we starting off dealing with Flat Earth, we got to have a conversation about water, right? Water maintains its level when it settles. Let me see about this screen share though. Let me do this. Oh, let me see here. Can we see the screen share?
Looking good.
Okay. And So I'm gonna make one observation right now. If you ready for me to just go right in on it, then I could do that.
Might as well, brother. It's your world. No pun
Okay.
intended.
Okay, so what we looking at now, this is gonna be a very basic one. Now, according to sacred geometry, right? Every 8 miles, I should be detecting for curvature. That's basically what this picture showing here. That on a sphere that is evenly 360 degrees even in all areas on a sphere, right? Is uniform. You would use spherical geometry to calculate curvature over distances, just to let the globe earthers know what I'm using, right? Because I think a lot of them using passion, they using emotions, they using belief, right? But I'm excuse me about the dogs, guys. I got some people coming and going, but that'll be just a one-time thing, and we should be good. I was expecting that, but excuse me. Let's go ahead and let excuse my dogs for 1 second, bro.
I'm sorry, brother. What'd you say?
I said, can you give me like 1 minute? I got some people coming and going.
Oh no, you good. You good. Take your time. Take your time. All right, family. So while we wait for the good brother, I wanted to ask the family, by show of votes, you tell me, because a good teacher can only tell you what to look, they can't tell you what to see. If you could add value, family, and tell me 666, the earth is flat, 777, the earth is round, or 888, it's some other shape that we're not necessarily privy to. 666, the world is flat. 777, the world is globe. You tell me. A good teacher doesn't tell you what to see, only where to look.
All right. How you doing? We back in the house. Sorry about that once again, man.
No, please continue.
Yeah, so one before I get back into this, the way that we prove the shape of the earth, we don't use numerology, gematria, or none of that. The only way that you can even attempt to talk about the shape of the earth is with observative-based science, observation-based science. Now, I get into numerology, gematria, and all that, but when you have a tool belt around your waist, you know when to use your hammer, you know when to use your pliers, you got to know when to reach for what tool at what time. And then when it comes to the shape of the earth, this is when you go into your observation bag. So right now, I'm going to go into my observation bag like I was saying. If you believe in a globe, keyword believe, that's all you can do based upon spherical geometry that I'm about to present now. Most people that believe in a globe, they don't know how to calculate measurements over one, which is why I keep stressing on this model, right? What I got on the screen is called spherical geometry. But we're going to talk about how to look at this, right? Here is how objects would reflect on a sphere. I'm going to give you one example of how to use spherical geometry. We notice reflections on a sphere, on a spherical surface. They are distorted around the edges, and you will not get what's called a mirror reflection when you're dealing with reflections on a sphere. The only way you can get a mirror reflection is with a level and flat mirror surface. So everyone in their house, when we getting ready in the morning, we don't get ready in spherical mirrors. We get ready in flat level mirrors to give us what's called a mirror reflection. The fact that we can get a mirror reflection is also testament of the mirror surface being flat and level and not spherical. What does this has to do with anything? Well, we have something called a salt flats, and these salt flat stretches for hundreds of miles. And it's just simply the ground acting as a mirror, giving us a mirror image below of what we see above. The only way you can have this phenomena, one, is either the earth is flat, Two, or the earth is a globe, but it's a real big globe now, because again, we dealing with hundreds of miles of no curvature. When does it curve? Now we're making the earth very gigantic. You see the problems that we're going to have here. Now, the bigger we make the earth, the more we stray away from spherical geometry, which is based upon it being 24,000 miles in diameter. And so if you could just change the math mid-debate, that's some hocus pocus crap. Because the people that said that they measured the earth, Eratosthenes and all of these guys during their time, they said that it was 24,000 miles across in diameter. So we will have to change that number now to rebut these observations that I'm making. But we can't do that, because then we make the earth so big that it's something that no scientist has even claimed. It would just make you a lonely globalist standing before me making such a ridiculous claim. I'm going to take the path of least resistance, saying that the earth is flat, and this is how things would mirror on a flat surface. Again, observation-based science. Now let's check out some more things about spherical geometry. Let me go into my little grab bag, because I didn't know the order. You know, we didn't come up with none of that, but I like these. I can just go randomly go in. So check it out. We are taught that the moon is reflecting the light of the sun. But this is how light would reflect off the moon if the moon was a sphere and if the moonlight was reflected sunlight. Take a minute and look at these images, because we don't observe this with the moon. Flat earthers are saying that the sun and the moon are not spherical. They are more like two-dimensional doorways or stargates. We say stars, but we forget to put the word gate at the end. And just to show you an example of what I mean about the nature of the stars, right? I'll do this for you real quick. Hold on. Let me do this for you real quick. So here's what, when we look up in the sky, what we see. We don't see what they tell us we see, right? Let me show you. This is what they give y'all. They give y'all this right here. And they tell you this is what planets is. And if the earth is one of these, why would you think the earth is flat if all the planets are round? None of the planets are round. All of the luminaries that we see in the sky, and I own a telescope, they are circles, not spheres. The difference is between a basketball and a CD disc. I think we know better than that, right? We know there's a difference. Flat earthers are saying the earth is a circle. When we look up in the sky, we see the stars, the luminaries, the sun and moon as circles. We're going to zoom in on this star. Check it out. If the planets were spherical solid objects, we wouldn't be able to see through them like we see here. This is called holographic distortion, and this is what we would get when we deal with the technology surrounding a stargate. Now, let me show you something before we get too carried away here. Here is an example of holographic distortion. Let's take a look at it. Now, let's go to an example of what a theoretical stargate is. All right, we all familiar with this movie. Here's literally what the stars are. There are portals in the heavens that lead into different lower and higher dimensions. Now, when you take a look at this stargate, you take a look at what we have here for holographic distortion. Now, let's go back to what we observe in the sky. Keyword observe. We're doing observation-based science. You can't come with your theories. You can't come talking out the side of your neck, because I'm going with my senses, and my senses are my senseis. All right, them my teachers. And I bet you my teachers will never fail me, but theirs will always fail them. They got to keep rewriting their sciences, because when you tell a lie, you got to keep retelling a lie in a different way when people catch you in it. This the same truth. What I'm teaching right here is what ancestors been teaching on this earth for a long time. Now I'm skipping back and forth between the ground we walking on and what we observe in the heavens. I'm finna go back to the salt flats. I'm gonna play volleyball here with it, right? So check it out what we observe in the heavens. This is Venus. What we are calling stars are stargates, and we can prove the nature of them because we're witnessing a phenomena called holographic distortion. We know we're looking at a hologram because we can see the blue sky through it. The sky is plasma. Everything up there is projected. Things that you see there are not the true object. It's a projection of it. This is what we're proving, that what we're witnessing here, just as the Nordic people said it. Now let's pull up, because what I do is deeper than flat earth. What I do is ancient cosmology. And in order for you to see what I do here, let's talk about how ancient people saw the world. Here is our earth, home of the humans. Here's the sun and the moon. They're not spheres. They are
Where's he at? Sure, what program are you using this? StreamYard or? Yeah, StreamYard. Settings, camera. Oh, I unplugged it. Watch out. All right, family, if you can hear me, press 111. If you can hear me, press 111. Let me go to settings, audio, default. Check, check. All right, that's good. Speaker, it's going through. All right, that's good. Mic is going through there. All right, the family can hear me. Let me get the good brother back on. I'm not sure. I don't have his direct number. That sucks. I wish I had it. All right, so the family can hear me. Let me hit the brother up. Where is he at? Email. Gmail. Audio and visual good. All right, I'm going to hit this good button and tell him to come back in. Reply. Come back into the stream. All right, so I just hit him. I told him come back in the screen. Come back, brother Sanchez. Sound off again. You troll, ain't no way that was right in the middle of him going in. Hold on. Let's family here. Let me block you. Let me block you, family. Let me block you. Family, if you're new to the screen, please come in and be humble. Please humble yourself. Family said, no, the sounds good. Family said it sounds good. Let me see where brother is at. There he goes. Peace, brother. Sorry about that. A little technical difficulty there. Can you share screen again? We pick up where we left off. Please forgive me.
That was a tech issue on my behalf, man.
Okay.
My router got kicked out the plug for some reason, but we back rocking and rolling.
That's right.
My thing is, I don't know where I left off at now.
I totally understand. Well, here, wherever you feel comfortable at, maybe just back it up just a little bit, so that we can kind of just retrack our pace, and we'll get it back going. It's all good, brother. I'm with you.
Yeah, I was going somewhere, but I don't know where to pick back up off that. Can you give me a little? Where did I jump off? Where did the glitch occur at? What was I saying during that part?
Well, actually, I thought it was on my side because my audio wasn't right, and I was trying to fix that. That's why I sounded like a chipmunk. I had.
Okay.
I had this thing on. That's why.
But yeah, all is well now. I fixed it. I saw what my problem is. Please forgive me. I'm not sure where you ended off.
Okay, no problem. I'll just go to the stream and kind of skip back and see where my screen share was.
I appreciate you.
All right. Sorry.
No problem. That was actually my fault as well. We rolling with the punches. It's all good, brother.
Mm-hmm. I see it now. Okay, now I got you now. Let me go ahead with the screen share.
Amen.
Cool. We should be back on track with the screen share.
We back, family.
All right. So what I was saying was, when you look at this, the little tree that I'm showing here, let me pull that back up, because now that I see where I messed up here. Here's how the Nordic people said that our Earth, well, our universe, what it really is right here.
Come on.
Now, this is, a lot of people will say, Sanchez, that's Google, that's images, ain't no science behind that. That's pseudoscience. Okay, Crumb, I'm about to come hit them with the science behind it now.
Come on with it.
All right, cool. So check this out, y'all. What we looking at is the original concept of the Big Bang. Watch this. Brace your eyes on that.
Ooh, teach.
See, and what we looking at on the far right, can you see my mouse pointer?
Yeah.
What we looking at on the far right here, that's called lens glare. reflection. This is what happens when we look at light through a lens. The light copy itself. A lot of pictures where people saying, oh, it's two suns in the sky. That's a lens phenomena called lens glare. And all you got to do is go to Google, right, and put in lens glare. This is what they're calling the Big Bang. And when they talking about let there be light, and that light is based on photosynthesis, because the Big Bang is like a camera flash. And this whole universe is holographic in nature, is light-based. The Big Bang, you got to ask yourself, Chrome TV, how do you get, right, physicality from light? They say it all started from light. Right. How does light become wood, oceans, and all that? If I tell you to make a forest right now out of light, how would you do it? You would close your eyes and think about a forest, because our thoughts is pure light. And the canvas that we use to create the thoughts is the darkness. So let there be light in the darkness. This whole concept of photosynthesis is dealing with the conception of thought, because everything that exists is manifested thought, conceived thought. And the universe is not a manifestation. It is simply a conceived thought that was never manifested, because the source ain't a man. So the whole thing about it is this right here. When the creator had a thought of the universe, that thought became everything we see around us, and it only exists as a thought. What we call manifestation is the illusion. So for example, right? When we deal with light as a hologram, our body is called our flesh, right? But your body is really your flash. It's a flash of light, because we are light beings. So when they talked about, when you see what the Pharaoh is showing you here, he's talking about human aura. He's showing you how the higher self is the mind, and the body is just a projection of the mind. So that ball that you see up there is projecting. That's the most high. Let me show you what that is real quick. That's called a pineal gland. That's the seat of the soul. This pineal gland that we see, the mind, our reality is being created in the back of the brain, and it's taking place right here where this light is. In this space, the body is being projected, and this mind is creating reality around itself and projecting itself inside of that reality by avatar that we call a body. So when we look at the movie The Avatar, and they got these blue creatures and all that, this is ancient knowledge right here that I'm showing you from way back in the day of how to cheat death, or even getting into the immortal aspect of what we are. So why am I showing this collage? Because the genie is dealing with Genesis, let there be light. Because when we talk about let there be light, birth starts with conception. The first thing that arrived here was the mind. That's something that your mama and daddy can't not give birth to. That always is and always be. What they gave birth to was your meat package. That's called a man of sin in medieval Catholicism, which I have here. This is also can be tied into acupuncture, which is why Christ was a healing God, because all of these vortex points that we see on the man of sin are different points that correspond to different chakras and neural highways, different stuff of this nature, right? I'm not advanced, but the natural health people are go into that. So I'm just yeah. So again, though, when we talk about Jesus, well, I don't want to talk about Jesus right now. I want to talk about why all of these deities were blue, like the Statue of Liberty, Krishna, because what they doing right now for the human 2045 avatar agenda, right? Let me show you some. They're actually resetting. When they say history repeat itself, here's what's going on now. So when we talk about I feel so blue because you feel down, that's because in these underworlds that's built by, and what we're in is a simulation that was created by the Babylonians, Egyptians, and all of these people. It's deeper than flat earth. Okay, we finna go into the whole concept of the Big Bang. That's what these collages are doing. So if you can see the nature of explosion, my brother, Crom, during Operation Fishbowl, when man got the technology to start making his own big bangs because we didn't always have the technology to create these huge explosions. When we got that technology from Hitler in Nazi Germany, right? That started Operation Fishbowl, and what they basically wanted to find out the shape of the universe. And people always thought that they were setting these bombs off to break through the so-called firmament dome, but they was really setting these bombs off to study the patterns to see if what the ancestors were saying was correct. And that's why I made this collage, because all of the patterns that they found out. Let me show you another one. Check this one out. Here is from, and all of these are different bomb sites from back in the 40s to 60s that you can look up online and see how they were setting off these big bombs. And they was trying to study the pattern of the explosion to understand the Big Bang. But what the Big Bang showed them was this, my brother Crom. Watch this next one.
Come on.
Here go flat earth right here. Even where Plato getting Atlantis from. Check that out. This is what your step pyramids is all about. 7 steps, because it's 7 heavens in the Hebrew cosmos. Each of them are dimensional planes for our consciousness. Watch this right here. Here go the explosion that went off in the 60s and 70s. Big Bang right there with the source of all of, see what's happening with this explosion here? All of the energy is spreading out around the central point of where the explosion took place at, in this little mushroom cloud in the middle. That's called the tree of life. This is called a tree of, and I'm using the Big Bang to show you these, how the Big Bang ties into flat earth and not globe earth, right? So right here, we got the tree of life in the middle, and we have all of the ethers or netters, if you Egyptian minded, right? Or heavens for my ancient Hebrew brothers, right? It's 7 of them, and here they all go right here. See, what I do is as above, so below. You can't do that if you ain't using observation-based science. And if you ain't using observation-based science, you're not an observer. You can't even call yourself a scientist if you ain't an observer. What happens, Crom, is a lot of people try to debate me, but they're not observers, right? They're just believers. They believe theories. So watch this, right? Everything that I'm showing you is science that you cannot debate, because the ancestors said that our universe is an electromagnetic energy field, a torus field. And here is more information on that if you want to peep that. On the right, what we see is a magnetic energy field under what's called a ferrocell. A ferrocell, for the first time in the 2000s, allow us to see what a magnetic energy field look like. Crom TV, if you don't own a ferrocell, here's another trick you can do. Here's another trick you can do. You could take a magnet. You could put that magnet on a TV, and the TV will reveal to you the magnetic energy field around the magnet. So this shape that we see on the TV when we were young, when we put the magnet on the TV, this is the shape of our cosmos here. Everything the ancestors said, I can prove it with observation-based science. Here's that same shape over here. You know, this was a deity that the Jamaicans call Anansi the spider. And it wasn't because they was worshiping a spider. It's because the spider personified the torus field. See here? Don't you know that the Jamaican deity Anansi the spider wore the colors red and blue, and the modern white people turned that to Spider-Man? The red, yes. And the red and blue is giving us the 2 sides of the magnetism, which is positive and negative. And they turned that to Pepsi Cola. Look at that.
Teach. You didn't bust out Pepsi. Okay.
Right. This symbol, we look at Pepsi, we think they make these symbols. Like we think that The red pill, blue pill is just some matrix stuff, but it's the two sides of the torus field that I'm showing here.
Right. I think it's called a toroidal tube.
Right. So it's like they turned this negative and positive into God and devil, and they turned the top one to heaven and the bottom one hell. But this is just this is yin and yang. And before we had God and the devil, we had God and the goddess, and we were showing how the yin and the yang work in unison versus fighting against each other. That subconsciously got everybody divided and conquered on all levels. Gender wars, religious wars, you name it. The balance has been gone. So our perception of the inner workings of our reality and the mechanisms that govern the universe dictate how we govern ourselves. I keep saying it, as above, so below. So again, you take your magnet, put it on a TV, and you'll get flat earth cosmology. We're not making this up, and we don't like to draw pretty pictures. We're doing observation based science. No one else can explain how light can give birth to physical creation, Crumb. If the Big Bang is an explosion of light, how does light become wood? Where does the creator get water from to make oceans? The same way you get water from to make oceans when I tell you to close your eyes and think of the beach. We're just a thought. Right. The universe is not a manifestation, Crumb. It's a conception. It's a thought that was never manifested, and we're part of the thought. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So just our very existence in what we call this universe, we got to understand that the universe is a meditated thought in the mind of a sleeping creator.
Deep.
And that there's no way that you can create physicality or shape physicality outside of thought, which is light. When we say photosynthesis, we're talking about how light becomes a photo, how you manifest it in the womb.
Teach. Okay.
So the Big Bang being an explosion of light, think of it as a camera flash. And then how everything come into existence as an explosion of light. The doctors call it the light of conception. When the sperm hit the egg, they compare that light to the same amount of energy of the Big Bang. So let me get this straight. Science teaches that every human's birth, the amount of energy that it took for you to be here right now is equivalent to the same amount of energy it took for the universe to be here. Each one of us each one of us is a piece of infinity. But the thing about it is, once you go to breaking off a small piece of infinity is still equivalent to a large piece of infinity because it's all infinity.
Okay.
So that's what we basically are. We're drips from an infinite ocean, but each one of us is a fractal coal, or what's called a multiversal continuum. So basically, without going so deep to keep going with the flat earth thing, all of the religions say that our universe is an expanse. The Quran say that the sky unfolded like a tent or a canopy. And this is what I'm showing you. A tent is a triangle shape or a pyramid. And the North Pole is the pole in the middle of the tent. If you remove that pole, the whole tent collapses. So that's when I'm talking about the North Pole, you can see that this sacred geometry of explosion of Big Bangism is synonymous with the Santa Claus hat. Santa, the god of the North Pole, the original version, his name was Aten. And Aten was Satan or Satan if you put an S in front of it, but Satan is actually Santa. Now, Santa is actually the word center, dealing with the North Pole.
Come on.
When they started to personify the center, they named it Santa or Santa. But we're not born into sin. We're born into synth, the synth body, or an avatar that I'm showing you here. Our bodies is ancient technology of what we're creating today, what I just showed you with the 2045 initiative. we're not going to be the first generation to cheat death and upload our minds into holographic avatars, okay? That was the whole concept of a genie. When you look around the world, you see all of these old deities. What color were they? They were blue.
Blue.
And just like Mama Kali right here. Just like baby Krishna. Did I show you the other one about Krishna and all of them? Did we get to that?
No, sir. No, sir. I don't think so.
Here are the other blue gods right here. Check it out.
Okay. Yeah. You were saying something about that. Come on with it.
Yeah, because when we say, man, I'm feeling blue, you feeling bad, because each of these, I'm going to show you this right here. Each of these, because we live in a multiverse, our consciousness was copied 7 times, and it was split up into 7 different dimensional planes called netters. And when we dream, we go to these other netters and we project our mind into these other avatars that's living out their lives on these other dream planes and these. When we go to sleep, we literally go somewhere. That's when we leave the earth or have an out of body experience where the mind goes into these other universes. And in those other universes, you could do something called lucid dreaming, Crom, where you say, damn, I'm dreaming, but you don't wake up. And what happens when that happens, right? You start to remember the history of the dude that's in the bed sleep, and you remember the history of the dude that was born in the dream world. Now, listen, Crom, they told us that our daddy had a bunch of sperm and only one made it to the egg. All of the sperm that your daddy had, each one of them made it to their own different universe.
Oh my God, you teaching.
And each one of those sperms became a different version of you in another netter, and you go to that version in dreams.
Damn, Gina. Can somebody in the comments type in damn Gina? Please, brother, continue.
And so it's 7 different versions of you, and it's 7 chakra layers, and each of these chakra layers is just a whole nother body where you was born again 7 times on 7 universes. And that's why we go to these other places. And like I said, so it's 7 heavens above, where in these 7 universes above you, nothing but the 7 best probabilities of how your life could have acted out is happening up there. This is the place where we have good dreams at. And in the bottom, right, 7 bad, the worst probabilities for your life is playing out, and that's where you go to have nightmares. So I can show you this model here, boom, and you'll see why we really have 14 chakras in some of those Hindu models, because it's 7 above, 7 below.
Right.
So I'm gonna just continue here. When you say menorah, you're saying the aura of man, man's aura, Jewish menorah.
Teach.
So, you see, so each candlestick on man's aura represents a conscious soul that was manifested on a netter. And you got to, according to the Hindu, be born on each one of these planes and die on each one 7 incarnations, and that's blowing out the 7 candlesticks on a menorah, which will free you from this pitchfork trident of this whole Saturn matrix, as they call it, because that's what this whole Lord of the Rings, we are Saturn, basically Satan or Saturn with the rings around us, trapping us into the multiverse. Is like being in a mirror house and you trying to find which one of these reflections is the real me. So what happened is, just like Bruce Lee in that movie, you start breaking the mirror. And when we break in the mirror, that's called having an incarnation. We go into that world we live in. When we die, right, that once we go through all of these 7 incarnations, we basically doing the process of elimination. What's going to be left is the true self. So this was turned into the 7-headed dragon Leviathan, right? Which is, when you kill a head, the next ones get stronger, and you get it all the way down to the last dragon, which is undefeated. You can't beat him. And there he go right here, Leviathan. So the Statue of Liberty got 7 spikes on the head for this reason.
I think you mean a Hydra. When you cut one head, another grows back. Is that what you're saying, or something else?
Hydra is another form of this same mythological beast. It's several manifestations of them throughout history, and Hydra is another form, because you know the word Hydra is dealing with the word hydrant, like a faucet. And what happens is it's the same thing with Saturn. This the secrets of saturation, which is caused by the outpouring of the consciousness within the simulation. So the consciousness is being filtered through 7 netters, right? That's making us manifest that consciousness into an avatar in order to consolidate all of the energy. The consolidation of all of that energy, right, is really what this whole 7 incarnation process is about, because the only thing we take is our life's experience. So through each of these incarnations, we're gathering more and more experience. By the 7th one, you will be this supreme guru, which escapes this whole life and death incarnation matrix, according to the Hindu. Now, if you go watch the movie Jet Leader 1, they basically told his story in that movie, how he went through each of them universes, eliminating the other version of himself to get stronger.
Okay.
So, but just to get back to the science about what we walking on, because I don't want to get too far into the simulation part of it, I'm going to stay with the Big Bang, but I just wanted to go ahead and give y'all that to sleep on. But the science of it is this right here, that our when they talk about Jesus being a rock, right? And when they give you this, what is it? Let me go to this real quick. I'm sorry, I see now I'm gonna have to pull this one for y'all. Hold up.
Okay, no problem.
Watch this real quick, because this whole thing about the, so this is what they give us, right, for the end of the world. But everything they teach us is backwards, is actually the beginning of the world. What we looking at right here, right? They say that this is doomsday symbolism. It represents the earth ending. But what they tell you how the globe earth started, they say that there was a rock that crashed onto the earth, and it had the germ of the human species on it. And when that rock landed in the ocean, we went from a single cell primitive state of fish creature, mermaids, basically, and evolved to Sasquatch, to now we humans on computers and stuff, a bunch of baloney that they need evolution. But the truth is, right, it's not that a rock seeded the life of humanity onto the earth by impregnating the ocean waters, right? This is symbolism to hide the fact that life started as a conceived thought from a point of singularity. And that is just an expanse of light that I'm showing you here.
I think that other thing that you were referencing is the panspermia theory. Panspermia, the theory that life on the earth originated from microorganisms or chemical precursors of life present in outer space and able to initiate life on reaching a suitable environment. The panspermia is just a theory, but just to kind of add value to what you were saying.
You know what? That's basically what they telling us, that we're basically aliens from somewhere else that landed on Earth. I never thought of it that way. Damn.
Yeah, you saw the same thing in the movie Spider-Man 3, where Venom, the symbiote version of him, comes in. It's like at the very beginning of the movie. But yeah, I digress. Please continue, brother.
Bro, we cooking, bro. We should do more of these. You deep brother now, because check this out. We say that the people in power are not like us, if you know what I mean, right?
Come on.
So if you look at how they operate like they are aliens to this earth. We operate like the real earthlings, the real inheritors and original people of this planet. See, and they operate like where every time you turn around, they trying to terraform, transform with technology. We just natural people, tropical jungle, beaches and stuff, you know. So that's all. I wanted to point that out because you got me thinking about something else. But the reason I pulled this up, right, because to show that when they talk about Jesus being a rock that the builders rejected, or that rock, that holy rock, that Ben stone, is the seed of creation. That's why I'm showing this too. So if I go to the Mercator map real quick, we're talking flat earth. In the middle of this, of our universe, is a black hole. They call it Rupes Nigra. Right here. This black mountain, this the source of all life in the universe. That's where our compasses is pointing to right now. So that is pointing to the seed of creation, like tree rings lead back to the middle of the tree where the seed was dropped. Let's take a look at it. If you follow these tree rings back to the middle, you'll follow the exact location where the seed was dropped on the ground, bullseye, because the tree is a ripple effect basically on land. Like if you drop a rock in the water, you get this pattern. If you drop a seed on the earth, you get this pattern. The ripple effect is the Saturn knowledge, the Lord of the Rings. So it shows you how nature dissipates energy. And another reason why I know the shape of the earth without leaving the earth. Humans never had to leave the earth to understand that life was an explosion. And once we understood that life was an explosion, then we all know the pattern of explosion. There's no way around that. Here's the pattern of an explosion, or AKA a ripple effect. So each of the, when they, this is what they turned into the solar system, my brother. They turned this to the solar system. But the solar system is really the color system, what I was showing you earlier about the chakras. And I'll go back to those real quick, because each of these verses are the same, but they all are a holographic projection made out of a different color. It's 7 primary colors in the spectrum. So you got 7 colors. You basically a hologram of light, but it's 7 different colors of light that's projecting that hologram in 7 different frequency bands that we call planes or planets, basically planes that are enclosed in a net, plane net.
Come on with it.
And when we talk about these frequency bands, we even see those with crop circles. Look at this. Here go a crop circle right there. They say they don't know how these crop circles form, that they think advanced beings formed them. Well, what are the advanced beings trying to show us? The secrets of magnetism. Look at this. I don't even get into the advanced being concept. I don't know about the mystery of the crop circles. All I can say is the patterns that they're showing. This is all the knowledge of electromagnetism. So let's talk about, if life is an explosion, how our ancestors knew the shape of the entire universe and they never left it. Y'all got to realize that Western anthropologists interviewed the Dogon, right? And the Dogon knew things about the universe that they said a Dogon should not know, because they don't got none of the technology that they got, and they just found out this stuff in like the 2000s stuff. But the Dogon been teaching it for centuries without none of that technology about the Big Bang, the expanding universe. But the Dogon are flat earthers, though. The Dogon don't believe in a globe. I can prove that as well. And that the Dogon Kananga is nothing but this image that I'm showing you on the screen right here. This is what, let me show you the Dogon Kananga, what's called the double trident or the Gembuta, because it's not just exclusive to the Dogon. Here we go. This is a knowledge that was worldwide. I can show you several tribes that had the Gembuta. And what this is represents something called a hyperboloid. The hyperboloid represents the center of magnetism. Let's pull it up. This is what's happening at the center of the earth. So if you want to talk about globe earth versus flat earth, let's talk about the Coriolis effect. Because guess what I'm about to prove with this hyperboloid and with these principles of electromagnetism? I'm about to prove that you cannot have a Coriolis effect on a globe. You can only have it on a flat earth. Let me pull up my next slide. Give me 1 second. So hold on 1 minute.
Take your time, brother. Take your time.
All right, here we go. Oh man, wrong. Still. Oh, here we go right here. So pull this up. So check this out. You see that? So check this out. Here go the Coriolis effect. It's the core. It's an effect that takes place from the core of the earth. And the core of the earth is shaped just like the core of an apple. Let me show you something. I got to take y'all to kindergarten with this because this can be some advanced stuff. When I talk about a hyperboloid, we want to deal with sacred geometry. Here is the core of the apple, right? Now, here's what the core of the earth is. Let me go to it real quick. It's called the hyperboloid. Hold on. Here's the core of the earth. So right here, we got the core of the earth. And right here, we got the core of an apple. Why the two resemble each other for a reason. That's why I'm using this, because this is what the Christians use for Adam and Eve. They said that Adam bit one side of the apple, Eve bit one side, but the Eden represents the North Pole. But the concept of a man and woman each both biting a side of the apple is symbolic, right? What I do is I gotta decode the symbolism, because they were speaking in parable to teach about advanced knowledge on a childlike level. So they use fables and fairy tales to teach advanced stuff to children. But now that we actually take that stuff literally. But check this out. Here's why this shape in the middle right here is why we got the two cupids with the two trumpets all the time. And this is also why the Jesus wear a cup on top of his head, and his symbol is a fish, Jesus fish. So this here represents, if I can show you another one here that'll really bring it home. Hold on here. So to my Kemetic people out there, Jesus is Yahshua, and he's equivalent to the Kemetic god Shu in Egyptian. And I'm about to show y'all that, and I'm doing that for a reason though.
Well, let me pull this up real quick just to add value. What the brother is showing is called a torus tube. In geometry, a torus is a circle.
You want me to stop sharing?
No. You're good. You're good. I just want to chime in real quick, and I'll pass the mic right back. If you type in torus tube, you'll get the definition, and you'll see the exact same images as the brother is referencing. This is all wise, right, and exact. But please, brother, continue.
Yeah. So there's several names for this, but the proper name in this context would be a hyperboloid, for several reasons. And I'm finna go into exactly what this is, right? What we have is basically how energy perpetuates itself. This is nothing but light recycling itself around a black hole, because light can't escape a black hole. So let's go back to the Pharisee, and I'm explaining this. All of these shapes we see around the world are shapes that our ancestors knew about, and they didn't have the technology we got today, and we still don't really know much about them. So check this out. This flower of life right here, what we got around, this is a transparent lens, and there's a thin layer of fluid, a patented fluid called ferrofluid. It's magnetic. And what we have is LED lights lining around the edge of this dish. And when we cut those lights on, light want to shine in a straight rays. But what's happening is the magnet in the middle of the dish is bending those light rays into the middle and sucking them in like a vacuum. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing, so if you look around the edges of this thing, these light rays, if we didn't have a magnet there, would just shine, similar to any light, like the sun. But what happens is they try to go straight, but they're bent inward, right? And sucked into a center of magnetism. And you say, well, where did they go? It spits it back out the other side and back around again, and it just perpetuates this motion we see here. So what we're looking at right here is basically the same image we're looking at right here. But imagine looking at this image right here from a top-down view, and you looking right into the hole. You will get this image. You'll see all of that energy being sucked into the cup right there. So
Absolutely.
Right. So we just want to explain it in detail. So when we combine push and pull, or yin and yang, this is basically what we get. Now, a reciprocating hyperboloid is what the North Pole is. And what it means by reciprocating is basically breathing. So the opposite of an hourglass would be a diamond shape. Like the opposite of an inhale would be an exhale, and you can see the stomach getting big and squeezing in like we see here. This would be when the stomach contracts, and the diamond would be when this shape expands. So if you look at the shape of our universe, you'll see what I mean. The word uni is the word yoni, which is synonymous with diamond, and universe is what we see here. The diamond is the outer, and the inner is the hyperboloid. So it's basically the inverted, you know what I'm saying, the exverted or whatever. You got the outer, the inner, micro, macro. The opposite of the diamond would be the hourglass. So that's something I want to point out with that. In Egyptian cosmology, we have this deity in the middle of the cosmos called Shu. And Shu represents this hyperboloid that all of the energy is flowing through, which is what the word Shu means, to go, to flow, to Shu. When you tell a dog Shu, right? Mm-hmm. So another thing about Shu, the reason he's shaped like an hourglass, again, because it's what I'm teaching here. This is what's foundating the heavens and the upper world and the below world, like a tent, right? With a pole in the middle, basically, and it's based upon the energy being tense. So the reason we talk about the word tent, the word tense for tension, which is what's happening at the middle here. The tent is creating tension, and we also want to bring up the number 10, which is dealing with the binary code, as we can see here. 0 and 1 is what. So,
brother, yeah. I just realized we hit the hour mark 7 minutes ago. I want to just pause really briefly for those who are just coming in. Can you tell the family who you are and where we can find you at, just so we can reinstate that? Do you mind?
For sure. Thank you for that, man. Bro Sanchez TV is where you can find me, guys. My name is Bro Sanchez. Of course, if this is your first time tuning in, what I do, syncretism and sacred geometry. I also use etymology and to decipher ancient cosmology. And once you do that, you realize the ancients were very ahead of their time. We just catching up to their greatness. And they also knew the shape of not only the earth, but the universe. And that's been hidden from us for several reasons, because the shape of our universe is actually the secrets of how to generate power, literally. The secrets of electricity. So they worship the god called Zeus, which held up an electricity boat. That was when they said, let there be light. We entered the age of electricity thousands of years ago. So the Egyptians had running water, electricity, lights on, the Tartarians, but they don't want us to know that. Because once we start unlocking the secrets of the universe, it's the foundation of all of what they're trying to call advanced technology. Right? So if, for example, right, I'm going to give you an example I'm going to give an example right now. One of the most advanced technological machines created on Earth right now is a thermal fusion reactor, or CERN machine. And if you look at this thermal fusion reactor and look at what I'm teaching you right here, they the same thing. Look.
Right. The Large Hadron Collider. Yep.
So the only thing I'm saying is they say that they are colliding two particles. No, they are fusing two particles. That's what the yin and the yang represent, the fusion of two particles. So it's like a tornado wind, my brother Crumb. When a hot wind and a cold wind come together and they create a vortex, 6-9. And they start to make this tornado. That's what our world is, a whirl, WHIRL.
Come on.
So this whole thing about CERN recreating the Big Bang, when they recreate the Big Bang, right? Okay, because man, the whole debate now is about the shape of the universe, the shape of the earth, right? Right. CERN is a machine that they said that they're going to use to recreate the entire Big Bang. Now, when they recreate the Big Bang, what shape do you think they're going to get? I'm going to show you right here. This is what they're going to get, flat earth. If you look at what the Ankh is, they said a Ankh is the symbol of life. It's the tree of life, the key of life. This, if a bomb will give you this mushroom cloud. That's what, if you look at that nuclear explosion in the middle at the top, that's what the Ankh is, the Big Bang. It's dealing with this whole creation of the universe, and everything is a fractal code based on that, which is why I'm able to make collages like the one we see right here. So when I go to the ancestral cosmology in the top right corner, I see they weren't guessing at this. They were making observations. So even a tree resembles this shape because nothing is random, Crom TV. Nothing is random in this simulation. That's the whole reason why it's a simulation. They tell you that each day is a blank sheet of paper waiting to happen. But let me tell you something. The reason we have deja vu is because according to the ancestors, the past and the future was already created. So, the University of Berkeley actually says that the mind remembers the future just like it remembers the past. But they calling your future memories is basically what they don't want to say deja vu.
Right.
So you the only way you can experience something that play out before it happened is if it already happened before. Right. And so what happens is we're basically time travelers. And the future already happened. And sometimes we can travel ahead of time into the future. But when we come back to the present, we got to wait for the future to catch up to this moment. And when the future catch up to this moment, we say, oh, I saw this before. This deja vu. You didn't only see it before, you smelt it before, you tasted it before. I've had deja vu situations where I'm in the kitchen eating something, smelling something, my girl cooking, and all. Oh, okay.
Keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I had deja vu where required more than just me remembering a vision. It's like I was there. I smelt the air. I remember the way my girl was talking. I remember everything. It's like if I was a second early, I could have been a prophet. I could have been like, yo, wait, I know what's about to happen right now. But we never catch it before. We always a second out there. It always happened. And we say, oh, man, I saw this, But if we can harness that and catch it before, we will literally be prophets like the ancestors, able to see into the future and tell it before it happened. These are lost gifts. So basically, there's a version of us that's, let's just say, is 7 years in the future and 7 years in the past. And that's what's creating this energy field around the one in the middle that represent the present. So just like the serpent on the tree of life, if you rearrange the word serpent, you get present. And Adam, see what I'm saying? So surrounding that present is the past and the future. And this is the secret of time travel right here, how we can travel into the future and the past, because time is not a line, it's a circle, it's a loop.
Yeah, time is not linear, it's
Uh-huh.
circular. That's why clocks are round.
There we go, man. Hey, bro, appreciate that. Like you said, and that's powerful, man, because we basically living inside of a huge clock, a well-built timepiece, and the sun is the hour hand and the moon is the minute hand. You see, so if, like I said, if you look at here, Jesus is on his video he had a video called Power. That's Kanye at the top for his video Power. But the crazy thing about it is the symbolism in his video Power is literally the secrets of how to generate power. Literally, the secrets of electromagnetism. This is occult lost knowledge in the occult. So he's in the seat of Christ, or the Horus/Jesus seat, because he's personifying this deity called Jesus or Yeshua, Shu, the Christ. But the word Christ just means crease. Christ is personifying a crease or a slit, which is the way in and out of the universe, which is why he said, I'm the way. And that slit, and he also said, I'm the way and I'm the light, because that light is literally the beam portal at the center of the earth to get our consciousness in and out of here. But he's just personifying it.
The Vesica Pisces, or the vagina?
Yeah, you can compare this to the female vagina on the micro, on a biological level, and on a macro and on a celestial level. You could compare it to what they're calling black holes.
Come on.
So our infinite eternal consciousness entered this realm through a great mother, and that would be the black hole. That's like a macro vagina, right? Oh, that's an opening from the heavens that lead to the earth. Now, here's what the portal looks like. Let me pull this up real quick, my brother. Hold on. It's called a wormhole. So what happens is this, right? This top opening represents Polaris. That's called the sky vault, according to the ancient Hebrew. Let me show it what it looked like, so we can have a visual. So if you look at this sky vault, it's shaped like a triangle. It's shaped like the cross, or capital T. But this is where Elon Musk gets his Tesla symbol from. That whole this symbol here. So, but what this is what I like to call the Holy Grail, and it is the secrets of how electromagnetic energy perpetuate itself. And I'm about to show you that right now, because I can show you better than I can tell you. If you look at what's happening as this cup is stirred up, a dry space is splitting through the whole thing. It's creating a pocket of air, and all of the water is recycling itself around that pocket of air. This what I'm showing you here of how vortex energy works, right? That is the stirring of the ether. The ether. And this is, again, what Christ represents, what all of these deities like Shu represent. And here go another one called Anu. It shows you the source that make all things new again, just like Christ said, I come to make all things new again. Because the stirring of this cup, it oxidizes. This is called osmosis effect. It recharges the water. People got this. If you got a water picture on your desk, they advise you to have an osmosis machine to stir the water to keep it electrically charged, because stagnant water ain't good for us. So if you look at Moses splitting the sea, you'll see where they get the word osmosis from. Now, because Moses is literally personifying this dry space in the middle of the water, splitting the water in it right here with his arms out, that dry space. That's what he's personifying. This was science. before they turned it into fairy tales and mythology. You feeling me, Crumb?
Absolutely. That osmosis piece was fire, heat rock.
For sure, man.
Come on.
That's what the brother Moses personifying the science of osmosis, and this show you how you split the waters from when the Bible saying God separated the waters from the waters. This what it meant right here. And so that same process of how we separate these waters from the waters in biology, they call it meiosis, which is another way of saying Moses. And it show you how to split a cell, because a cell is basically split the same way. To split a cell, which is an atom, because the cell and atom are one and the same. To split this cell is to mimic what's happening at the North Pole, because the only way we know how to split an atom or split a cell is to see where we see one actually split at. And that's where all our compasses is pointing at the North Pole. So man has studied what's happening at the North Pole, and he's turned it into a machine. That's why it shows you the thermal fusion reactor. And I'm also showing you symbols of the North Pole from ancient ancestors. So this is how basically when you learn how a cell is split, because you got one cell, right? But when you split the cell, it becomes two equal cells, meaning that every time you split a cell, it don't die, it multiply. And the power in one little cell is the secrets of infinity. And this what they talking about smashing an atom. Because when you split a cell, you just get an equal size or a mirror image copy of that same cell, and you keep splitting it. It don't die, it multiply. So you know, each one is an equal copy of the other one. So a cell splitting also shows us how our chakra layers were formed. Let me pull that back up. Your 7 chakras are one cell that split into 7 cells. And each one of them are equal version of the self in a different universe, just like each of the DNA codes exists in its own torus field that we call a cell. So if you think we had one unified consciousness in the Most High heaven, and when it fell, something called shatter effect took place, where if you drop anything, it expands and shatters. And we shattered into 7 split cells from one single cell, and through the process of meiosis here. And that's
Right.
why when you look at this diagram, it's shaped like a birthday hat, which is why we wear birthday hats. This is the secrets of birth. This is the secrets of the universe and all that. And if you want to look at another, like I said, here go magnet shards being sucked on a magnet, and that's your birthday hat, your shaman hat with the like a teepee, right? So, and this is also the Babel Tower, where they building the tower to the heavens, but the god called Baal is knocking it down. Yet again, mythological spookism hiding high science.
You were saying earlier about you were saying ferrosis, Ferros, in reference to something. I wanted to just go back and confirm what he was talking about, because he's showing iron, ferric, because when we're dealing with iron, it is the most magnetic material known to man outside of magnets themselves. Please continue, brother.
Oh yeah, appreciate that. They even say our blood is made out of iron and stuff like that.
Correct.
And you know, the crazy thing about their reverse engineering spiritual technology on the physical plane, my brother. And for example, if you look at this thermal fusion reactor, this shows you what fuses spiritual realm with physical realm, and we get something called mind and body, right? So if you look at the connection between mind and body, right, that's the connection between heaven and earth. But let me go ahead and pull up the electromagnetic energy field of the human, because this energy field is a cell that's imprisoning our consciousness. It's literally a set. You see the grid pattern? It's a prison cell, but that's why they call it a cell. Now, the thing about it is this right here. If you look at the checkerboard pattern and the shape of this thing, they got it down to a T, my brother. Check this out. This the thermal fusion reactor. Look at the the gridded pattern, the same. I mean, it's all there, man. They're reverse engineering because our crown chakra is a portal that lead to the heavens, and our root chakra is a portal that lead to the underworld or the hellish realms, and the connection between our energy flowing between the both of them is the cycle of life or the Christ knowledge, which is why Christ had to go down to hell, then up to heaven and back to the earth. He's taking the path of electromagnetic energy right here. He's personifying the path of electromagnetic energy. So if you look at this energy field, Christ said, my kingdom is in the heart. I'm knocking on the heart. And he was teaching this knowledge right here. So this is now, like I said, being reverse engineered into modern technology, which is why I made this collage. But just to get to flat earth, just to hop back over to flat earth for a minute, there's no other valid explanation for the Big Bang other than basically I'm giving the Big Bang fact, and what they gave was the Big Bang theory. I'm actually debunking NASA's Big Bang theory by presenting the original Big Bang fact right now. And even if you want to take a look at Donald Trump here, right? Look at his inauguration, what you call it, display, his stage and stuff is literally the flat earth concept. You see there? So they know the secrets of Saturn. And hey, Crom, I don't know how long you've been around, but I've been around the conscious community a minute, right? I'm gonna see if you remember this statement. Do you remember this old statement where what they used to say? Saturn used to be at the center of our solar system before the sun.
Yeah, I did a video called Saturn was our first sun.
Yeah. And guess what, bro? I was teaching that too, because we've been around a minute, and I knew you probably was hip to that. So guess what, man? I had to change my mind on the way I interpreted that, even though we telling the truth. Saturn was the first sun. Let me show you. Here go the collage we was missing, my brother. Brace yourself for this one. So what this collage show is that when we say Saturn was our first sun, they saying that the god Saturn, right, was at the middle of the solar system, not the planet. Not the planet. They didn't have technology that would allow them to even see Saturn. When they came during this time, so they want to even be able to see the rings of Saturn, because the magnifying, the telescopes that Galileo was using, they said it would literally be damn near the equivalent of looking through like our worst, technology. Think about it. I can't even explain it, but they compared it to Coke bottle glass. That's how deep it is. But check it out though. When we talk about Saturn, it's the knowledge of saturation, of how the consciousness of the Most High saturated the primordial oceans. That caused the ripple effect of life. And that's what we're looking at now. So
let me just do a real quick plug since we were on a topic. Definitely go check for the listening audience the video Saturn, Our God and Sun. I went through an hour and a half, little PowerPoint presentation. But please continue, brother. I'm interested.
Yeah. So basically, when we look up the god Saturn, let me show you images of him. Images of the god Saturn real quick so we can see. Excuse me a second here. Here we go. Here is the god Saturn right here. Saturn isn't a concept exclusive to Europeans. In the top right corner, that is called a Hindu Naga, where we get the word nigger from. The serpent people were the Nagas, and they were gods on the earth because they were black Asiatic people that understood the knowledge of the universe. Where did they go? They went into churches and mosques. They went into slavery and indoctrination. Now they don't know anything about power unless they calling on it in some temple in the name of some god that took their power. So true power is generated with knowledge, because knowledge is power. It ain't belief systems. The people that gave us belief systems, they took sacred science from our ancestors, and they got your lights running right now. You pay them a light bill. So power don't come from Christ. It come from Alabama energy, Nevada energy. Let's get it right. Let's keep it real. Now check this out, y'all. When we look at images like this, right, in the bottom middle of this is the Hindu interpretation of our earth. The people that was able to understand the foundations of all technology only understood it because they understood the shape of the earth. When we see the shape of the earth right here, and I'm gonna show you some more of them too, because this here is it's amazing every time, you know. Like we see in here, Tesla technology. This Tesla, you are the pole, and the rings around the pole is called the chakra layers. Everything I'm showing you on the screen right now, here's what the Kemetic people talk. So when they said Christ was put to death on a cross, but he resurrected, this is what I'm telling you about these 7 chakra bands. They call them the 7 Van Allen belts. But these are 7-dimensional planes that we gonna basically be put to death on, because we're gonna have a lifetime. We're gonna be born and die in each of these. So this is the concept of Jesus being put to death on a cross. In other words, our entire life experience through these 7 nattas are the will of our soul in the highest heaven, carrying out his will, just like Christ came down to the earth to carry out the will of God in the heavens, because Christ was not Christ was a puppet. Look, you see this image? This is why Christ carried a cross. This is why Quetzalcoatl carried a cross. Your body is a puppet of your soul. Everything that's going to happen in your life is already written out, and it just must be fulfilled, just like Christ's story. We're the real Christ. There's no such thing as free will. There's no such thing as random acts. You in a simulation, and the past and the future was created at the beginning. That's why we have deja vu. Everything in the future gonna happen, and you can't change the fate of your death. We achieve time travel. We cheated death in the ancient world. And because of that, there are rules to this simulation, meaning that we can't alter the nature of time. We got to rewrite the script. That's the only way. Because what happens is all of these life experiences are already written out prior to us born. And once our mind is wrapped up in a body, the body will fulfill the will that was written out by the soul prior to it ever being born. So when Christians say, well, God, please forgive me because I made a mistake, ain't no such thing as mistakes in a simulation. Guess what I'm telling you? The Bible tell y'all that God knows everything that's going to happen, that the beginning and end of the universe is written out. It was written, and it must be fulfilled. So if God is telling you everything is already written out from beginning to end, and it's going to be fulfilled, you ain't making no mistakes, and you can't change nothing. So why ask for forgiveness? Why think that? See what I'm saying? So what this is a script. And once we start getting in alignment with the Most High, which is our Most High self, our mind being in synchronicity with our body, with our soul, mind, body, and soul, that's the true Trinity. When that get to working in synchronicity, then the will of the Father or the feather will be done on earth as it is in heaven, because the Father represents the spot of the feather that Ma'at has, the seat of the soul, on top the pineal gland, on top of the dome. So one of the earliest images of God was the hamster hand. And the reason that the symbol of God was a hand, because that's the hand that controls the puppet. That's the hand that controls the puppet. So one thing about what we looking at in this image in the bottom right corner here, that is the 2045 scientific initiative to cheat death. And what we seeing is, watch this, y'all, what pisses me off, right? Modern science deny the concept of a human macabre. They say it's pseudoscience. Look at this. When you go to talking about this in the modern world, they say all of this is pseudoscience, the starship, the auric body, the tetrahedron. But guess what, y'all? Watch what I'm about to show you. Look at this. They literally reverse engineering it right here. Look. When they talk about we're being X-Men, we're mutants, here is what the X-Men is, the mutant. Because this was a deity called a demiurge, represented by two serpents. Them two serpents are the two particles that they fusing in the thermal fusion reactor. Our Earth is a big thermal fusion reactor, and your higher self is being fused with your lower self, creating this central self right now. The present you in this, what they call Midgard. So we wasn't born, right? So we wasn't born in sin. We was born in the center of the universe. Our birth never took place for real. We're really sleeping, and our birth was a dream, just like in the movie of the Matrix, and the death would be awakening for the dream, from the dream. So when they say that we fell from Eden, it's like somebody saying you fell asleep. So this pole in the middle represents the true universe, but once we fell asleep inside of that pole, our consciousness went into different degrees of what they call REM sleep. And each layer, and there was 7 layers of REM sleep. You basically, I don't know if this ever happened to y'all before, but sometimes when I'm dreaming, I'll wake up out of one dream into another dream. And I'll wake up from that dream back. Now I'm in my real bed. So they call it dual dreaming, and you can do that up to 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I've had that happen.
So that's basically, each dream is a deeper level of sleep that your consciousness went into. You basically traveling through dimensions and ethers or netters. So that's basically what our life is. When they say that death is like a deja vu moment, like us having deja vu, a lot of proverbs in Africa will say that, because they're saying that all of these acts are tied together as one grand act. Now they call that string theory, but basically another way you can look at it is this: just say that you're dreaming, right? And you sleeping in the bed snoring, and your mama busts in your room, and she splashed water on you, right? But what she don't know is, when you was in the dream, you had just jumped off of a cliff into a lake. You and your friends was hanging out, right? And in the dream, your grand moment, right? You was going to impress the whole crowd. You reared off the cliff, boom, you jumped into the lake. Soon as you hit the water, you woke up and your mama was splashing you with the water, saying, boy, it's time to go to school. So what happens is the ancestors said all of these actions are tied together, but what we call an awakening and death and rebirth and all that, birth, being born and waking up, like I just explained. We even see that in the movies, that concept. So basically, when you hit the water in the dream, that was basically the end of the dream, but the beginning of your a reality in Israel. And each of these realities are dreams. That's why they said life is but a dream. So a lot of the ancestors was saying at the end of one's life, we get these revelations, like at the end of the Bible, the book of Revelation, and the mysteries of God are revealed. That's to say that in each of your incarnations, you're going to remember the last one. We say, why don't I remember my previous lifetimes? My theory is either they done something to us in this realm to make us have some sort of amnesia, and another theory is that we're babies, and that's the real reason why they call it Babylon, because it's baby land. We basically new souls that never had previous lives. This our first one, and we'll start to remember them after this one. So those are my two theories. I like to tie in a lot of the ancient cosmology of the Big Bang, the afterlife, and time travel, because these three are all tied together, which is why I'm giving you this collage. In the top right corner, we have the model of the Big Bang. Now, for people who don't know about what this model mean, I'm showing you what it means. It shows that our consciousness is this point of singularity right here. This is what's at the North Pole, the true self. This little ball that my mouse is on, that represents your pineal gland. Let me show you what that is. It's very important. That little ball represents, this is where the real self is. This is what's interfacing the observer, that's interfacing with the physical world, but it's not part of the physical world. It's an infinite soul that used the avatar to explore this world, like an astronaut uses a spacesuit to go to another planet. Now, I don't believe in astronauts and all that. I'm just showing you the symbolism of what they're trying to portray. Now, when we look at this image right here, this shows you this point of singularity here that created 7 avatars all the way down to the one in the lowest underworld where you see the man on the stump. That man on a stump represent the real you in the circle of the earth down here. And the spotlight above your head, again, is why we wear a birthday hat. Because your birth is literally the creation of your flesh, which is a flash of light. There's no such thing as physicality for real. Look at this image. This is why they say that the universe is made of atoms, but an atom is basically no matter. It's zero. It is basically the lack of matter. Like atoms really represent weightless particles that have no real density to them. So if the universe are made of atoms, guess what? This image here is called Aten. The God you see in the top left, he's called Aten. That's where they get the word atom from. Aten. Because atoms are basically rays of light that are coming from a single source. And each of these rays of light are working together to create your hologram called a flesh or a flash, a body right here in the bottom left corner. Each of them rays of light is becoming a little bitty pixel or a dot to create your body. They call them cells or atoms, but they are just the endings of these light rays that are allowing us to manifest in the holographic simulation. So basically, this is what photosynthesis is. It's you taking a snapshot selfie picture of yourself, and the version of you that's taking a picture is taking it from macro, and the picture is being formed in micro or in the circle of the earth below. So the reason why they worship the God that was Cyclops, it was a one-eyed God, is because the one eye was the lens to the camera. The one eye was the projection machine that's projecting us on the wall as like a projection machine in a triangulation type pattern, just like this. So this is why when you look at like celebrities and stuff, let me turn my camera on for a second. You can zoom in on me now and see when we look at celebrities, what are they doing, Crum? They be like this.
Right.
Because this is how you take a picture. Cheese, you close one eye and you snap the picture with the camera.
Right.
This the secrets of life, which is photosynthesis and illumination or Illuminati, right? So this is why you see them all with the one eye with the triangle or the dynasty symbol, That's what I'm showing you in all of these images that I'm gonna go back to now with the one eye, because you know when we snap the photo, it's symbolic, right? So photosynthesis. Can we? Here we are now. Let me see if we can see that. Think we got a little matrix going. Let me do that again.
Right.
All right, so there we go. Here's photosynthesis. Now, all of the ancestors said that we're projecting ourselves to these outer worlds from the center world. And that center world, right, was called Maru. And that word Maru is the word mirror and the word camera. When we say camera, we're saying Ka Maru. The Ka is the soul, Maru is the location of it. Now, from the Ka Maru, from the location of the Ka, which is the pineal gland, the central self, the light inside of the brain, right? That's the part of us that resided in a higher dimension, like what the Pharaoh's showing you. That mind exists over matter. This is why we say mind over matter. And this picture shows you the mind rising up above the matter. That's the ball on top of the triangle. So everything in the material world, including your body, is just a projection around the mind, which is why we see images like this. These gods represent the inner body, the God body, as we call it, the macro body. This is the body that is projecting the body in and out of these netters. Only thing that exists, we're pure light, and that light don't have any dimensions, no boundaries. It's infinite. But when we give it boundaries and dimensions, we create the hologram. When we take light and we start to shape it and give it dimensions, then the light becomes flesh. Right here. So what I'm showing basically is that if you look at this hologram in the bottom left, when they say we're not our body, we're our soul, that's what we're looking at. Basically, that's to say that this person isn't the hologram that's being projected by the light. This person is the light itself. So you feel me now? So we're not our bodies. We're the energy that formed our bodies. And that's represented by this auric field around the body. And the auric field that we see around the body is proof that we are holy beings. And the word holy is the original word for holographic. Holographic, holy. So when Jesus is in his holy body, it's an anointed body that's lit up because it's trying to show you we're basically holographic. All right. So let me see what else we want to go over here, because in order to understand flat earth and all that, we need to understand the nature of creation, and the nature of the elements and the physical construct around us is not physical at all, which is why the Mayans said his world is an illusion, and they even named themselves Maya, which means illusion, to remind themselves basically my body ain't real. So let me see here. I've been talking about a lot of stuff, so let me kind of clear some of this stuff off, because I skip around in these kind of bills. I just skip around and give random jewels. But what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna relax, and I'm gonna see if you or the audience or anybody want to do any questions, because how long we've been going, I think we want to save some time for Q&A for the host, and if you want to let callers come with questions, and then
we're actually at the 1 hour 48, basically 50-minute mark. I was going to say, because you really wowed the audience, the master students as we call ourselves over here, with the information. I was gonna save the last 10 minutes just to actually close out. Brother, could you give us your final thoughts? And with that said, end by telling us again, if you don't mind, who you are and where we can find you at.
Okay, well, let me stop my screen share and go ahead and close out with you guys. Guys, if you like what I just done here today, that's just me playing around, freestyling. Go to Bro Sanchez TV. And what I just done today was I do those kind of presentations where I just skip around my slides to expose you to a lot of the concepts that we dive into on my channel. Maybe when he get me in the future, we can have set topics and I'll stay on that where I can go in detail with one thing. But I like these for introductory presentations. And I still didn't touch on all half of the stuff we go over. As you can see, we cracking a lot of codes. We tying in a lot of loose ends. Man never figured it all out. Man ain't perfect, and we never had all the answers. But if you got a mentality that you already know it all, then you probably don't want to look up my channel and follow my community. We learning new stuff all the time because we humbled ourselves to the universe and went back to our childlike mentality and say, I don't know nothing. And the approach that I use with trying to discover everything are ancient systems that we used to use that aren't popular no more today, like syncretism, sacred geometry, collage making, etymology. That's a lot of the way I teach. These are ancient ways of teaching that no one use anymore. I'm resurrecting them because these systems resonate with the third eye. So if you like what I'm doing, follow me and come crack the code with us because we freeing our mind from this thing. The only thing we take with us is knowledge and understanding. How your level of understanding dictates which ether you stand under. Let me say that again. Your level of understanding will dictate which celestial plane you stand under. These dimensional planes are classrooms. To expand your consciousness is to expand your mind out of this particular classroom. And there's no end to this university. I'm in right there.
Powerful, powerful. There you have it, family. Brother Sanchez in the flesh.
And I want to thank you. I'm sorry. I want to definitely thank you, Crom. Anytime you want me on, you already know. Just hit me up, my brother. And I'm going to go ahead and get out of here and let you close out, man. I appreciate you and all of your supporters.
It's been a pleasure. It's been an honor. I'm grateful. Shout out to Brother Sanchez. Go check him out. He is a humble brother. People are like, yeah, you should work with so-and-so. You should work with so-and-so. Family, does so-and-so work with anybody else? Some people are just kind of, hermits, and they really not interested in hearing anything else other than their own ideas. We call those echo chambers. Totally understand. But listen, we're master students over here. With that said, family, I want to also let you know that this Juneteenth, that's right, family, this Juneteenth, I will be in Orlando, Florida with the Minister of Information. We're going to have an event called the Juneteenth retreat. Sunday, Friday night, we'll do a pool party. Saturday, we'll do a luxury breakfast. We'll go into the PowerPoint then. We'll do lunch. We'll finish the PowerPoint. We'll do dinner. We'll watch a movie, decode that. Sunday morning, we're going to break out. So that'll be a one full day in beautiful Florida. This is the height of tourist season. Now, if you think about anything concerning these tickets, you're going to go try to get these tickets anywhere else. I'm sorry, like get a room anywhere at the height of tourist season. It's just not there, family. It's just not there. I got one of the last spaces available. So come check us out. Loads and loads of fun and information. You already know how we get down. With that said, family, I want to go over and put some respect on the family who supports Crumb TV by taking the dollar challenge simply by donating $1 to money sign Crumb TV. That's right, family, money sign Crumb TV. Let me just see who has supported, and I want to put some respect on their name. This is last but not least. I want to make sure I acknowledge you. John Smith, he said, for the team you're putting together is crazy. Salute John Smith. Absolutely. It's all about unity. It's all about working together with the family. Who else we got here? Paxton 66. Well, actually, I think that's the wrong person. That's not all wise writing exact. Maxine Otis, she says, she didn't say anything. I see you. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm glad and I want to acknowledge you. David Jones, I see you. I love you. I appreciate you. Ink Weaver, he's a good brother. I greatly appreciate you supporting, taking the dollar challenge a couple times over. Who else do we have here? Gianna Dunbar, gratitude. I appreciate you, sister. You're a good soul. Positive vibes. Kick rocks. I am Eno, Uncle Gary, Emmanuel Solomon, Chris Garcia. If you want to take the dollar challenge, family, I want to acknowledge you for helping keep what we have going. It really means everything to me. I'm humbled. I'm honored. I'm grateful. But family, I'm not Pastor Porkchop. So if you want to support, you can easily do that by doing the free option, which is hitting that like button. It's free. It's easy. It takes a second. Just one click. Works for the algorithm. It humbles my heart. So many good things. So you can do that as well to show your support. Also, comment, family. Let me know what you think. Is the earth flat? Is it round? Is it some other shape? Is it a pear? I don't know. You tell me. A good teacher doesn't tell you what to see. They can only tell you where to look. Last but not least, family, smash that subscribe button, family. If this is your first time, hit that. If you watch this for the last 2 hours, family, go ahead and hit the subscribe button wherever you're watching this video from, because we are simulcasting across several platforms. So wherever you're at right now, hit that subscribe button, family. I'm grateful to all of you. Have a great rest of your evening. And as always, I want to leave you the exact same way I came to you. You are now watching Crumb TV. LA, stand up.
You are now watching Crumb TV. You're watching Crumb TV. This is Prema Osset in Los Angeles, Leimert Park, and you are now watching Crumb TV.
You are watching Crumb TV.
We're watching Crumb TV.
You are now watching Crumb TV. So subscribe.
I am the Grand Sheikess, Unity Temple number 80, Moore Science Temple of America, and you are watching Crumb TV.
Yo, this is that kid 179. You're now watching Crumb TV.
Crumb.